Rita Ferandino, Eric Robertson.
Hi.
Rita is the chair of the Sarasota Democratic Party, and Eric is the chair of the Republican Party in Sarasota County. And I've been pleased to have both of these very interesting people on. A lot of people expressed early interest in this show, and it's gotten a little bit of early hype. So, Rita, would you tell me a little about yourself and your background and how you became what you are in this situation?
Well, I'm Rita Ferandino. I'm the proud chairman of the Sarasota Democratic Party. I was elected in April 2007 by unanimous consent, and it has been a whirlwind ever since. We've been very focused on making sure we get highly qualified, highly skilled candidates to run as Democrats here in Sarasota County.
Mm-hmm. But you sort of inherited the job.
I did inherit the job.
So how did that develop?
Well, actually, we had a election in 2007, earlier in the year, and we had a chairman who was elected who decided not to proceed. I was the vice president at that time, and when he abdicated, I was then the chairman by default, and then I was elected formally April of 2007.
What's your background otherwise?
I'm a partner in a private equity investment and advisory firm, ARC Capital Development. We have offices here in Sarasota, Denver, and Chicago.
And your offices are everywhere?
Anybody who is in need of private equity financing that have businesses in the $3 to $25 million range could contact us, yes.
Oh, well, that's a very nice number. Eric?
Yeah, I'm the chairman of the Republican Party, Sarasota County. I got involved. I was working on various campaigns. I eventually became a treasurer of the local party, rose up to become the vice chairman. While I was vice chairman, I'd worked on Charlie Criss's education campaign and attorney general campaign. He tapped me to be his chairman here in Sarasota County. My wife, it's almost a family affair, I think. My wife was the president of the Sarasota County Republican Club. Then I became the chairman of the Republican Party for Sarasota County. Governor Bush saw fit to appoint me to the Sarasota Manatee Airport Authority and the Workforce Florida Board. I do a lot of volunteering. I'm the treasurer for Habitat for Humanity, South Sarasota County, United Way of South Sarasota County. I'm a member of the American Legion, Elks Lodge.
You're everywhere.
I'm everywhere. In Satoma, I have 2 wonderful children. Rita forgot to tell you, she's a proud mother of a 9-year-old son. That's the most important thing. And I have a wife. She's the general counsel for the party, and she was Vern Buchanan's attorney during the recount. That's a little claim to fame. And so it's a family affair for us.
What's happening to the party in the case of the Democrats? Rita, do you want to tell us a little bit what's going on?
Well, we've been really building on the momentum of our party. You may know in 2004 the Democrats were involved in one contested election. We had 3 candidates in 2004 with 1 contested race. In 2008 we are very proud to say we've got 20 local Democrats running in 18 races.
I've interviewed some of those along with the Republicans on the show here. What's happening with your registration?
Well, our registration is growing by incremental amounts. I was just in Kathy Dent's office today, and when you compare our voter registration from 2004 on this date with today, we're up 1.8% in our Democratic voter registration.
32%, or
we're a little over 32.6%.
You do know that it's been pretty flat from 1990 forward, so it's fluctuating about 1%, so you're on the upward swing on that.
We're on the upward swing.
Yeah. Eric, what about you guys?
Well, our percentage-wise has been took a little bit of heat. We were over 50%. Now we're in the 40s now. A lot of it's attributed to the motor voters. They come in, since we had the biggest piece of the pie. Obviously, we're going to take the biggest hit. But as far as fielding candidates, we're doing really good on that. As far as getting people elected, obviously, I think it's 39 out of 41 partisan races are Republicans in Sarasota County. So that's a 39 out of 41. That's a pretty good record, I would think. And so we also work very, very hard in turning out the vote. We always turn out a higher percentage than the state here in Sarasota County. The last presidential election, we turned out 81.6%. The only person who beat us was Flagler, 81.9. We have actually 10 times more population than they do. So while voter registration is important, but the main thing is get Republicans elected to office. We do that mainly by turning out the vote, getting our base together. Like I tell Rita, our jobs are very similar in nature. We're here to get people elected who are members of our party, and we do that by getting our base and our party members out to the polls to get them to vote, and that's how you win elections.
Right. So in '98 you were at 54%, and now you're down to 46.
Something like that.
Right. That is what is that? An 8% drop.
Well, you also got to understand that during that time we purged the voter rolls. They did a large purge. The laws had changed. It's a statement of fact that our county's demographic is historically on the elderly side. We have a constant turnover of population, and coupled with the motor voter, that's what counts for a large part of the drop. But the amount of people who we get elected, which at the end of the day is what matters, is still at a high number.
So if your numbers continue to fall, but you get the elections won, it's kind of irrelevant what the registration is.
Well, let's say, for example, let's take the extreme. Would I rather have 100% of the elected officials in Sarasota County be Republican and only have 1% of the county be Republican, or would I rather have 100% of the population be Republican but all the elected officials be Democrat? I go with Plan A. All the elected officials are Republican.
Suggesting that this is a power situation more than a people representation situation.
No, suggesting that the Republicans, we want to make sure that the Republican policy is carried forward through its elected officials. Me and Rita do not vote on anything. It's the candidates who vote. Me and Rita don't.
But you just said, basically, I thought I understood this. You just said you don't really care what happens to the registration as long as Republicans win.
No, I didn't say care. I said if I had a choice between the two. Obviously I care, and it's not like we're down to the 30s.
Oh dear.
We're in the 40s.
Oh dear.
No offense. But it's not like we've dropped precipitously to the point where it affects voter turnout or elections. We do get involved in trying to do voter registration, just like Rita does. We do get involved in doing switch campaigns, but our time and resources are better spent in getting people out to vote. It's not to say that we don't care about getting people registered, it's just a question of priorities in life. It's not all or nothing. It's a balancing act of multiple priorities, and so I have to prioritize what's more important. And it's not that I forsake the other one. It just is, where do I allocate my resources and time? And they're very, very limited.
Rita, what do you think about that?
Can you repeat the question, please?
I'm not sure I know what it was.
He was asking which one's more important, having.
What's more important, the numbers and the candidates, increasing registration, people part of your party, or people not so much part of your party, but you win all the seats?
Again, I'll just reiterate what Eric said. My job is to get out my Democratic vote.
And if you get your vote out at 30%, you don't get the independents or the Republicans to switch and vote for your candidates, what happens?
It is the candidate's responsibility to attract and to convince the Republicans and the independents that they are the candidates. My job is to get out my Democratic voting bloc.
Let me give you an example. The City of Venice election. The South County, it's 2-to-1 Republican. I mean, it's a Republican stronghold. It's over 60% of the people are Republicans there. Rita won that race. I lost. It doesn't matter that I have 60%. Rita won. A day after I called you up and congratulated you, told you she did a good job. Rita did a great job. It didn't matter what percentage of Democrats she had there. What
do you account for that situation? Why did that happen?
I think a large part of
just the work of the Democrats versus